that time of year where kind of everything in our normal grind is kind of going back in full force. We spent the last 2 or 3 months, for the most part, on summer vacation. And for those who have teachers in their family, it's literally entirely summer vacation. But for a lot of people, you know, it's kind of the off month. There's not really a whole lot going on unless you have an industry that for whatever reason has kind of a summer, you know, big pickup time. But it's September when kind of everything gets back in full gear. It's when your budgets go up, when you have to really start digging down, and even traffic. You know, everybody's taking their kids back to school, and so traffic's even crazier. Now, I know this all too well. Now, right now is the beginning of a 9-month period of time where you're going to find yourself working way too hard. I mean, whether it's overtime, nights, weekends, even holidays, you're going to have to talk to people you just don't like, and people you don't even want to deal with. You see them calling, or you see them down the hall even. It's probably people that you even work with, and you just don't want to deal with it. And in my case, and probably in a lot of your cases, it's that boss or the manager. And you just know that whenever you have that conversation with them, it's never good. And even if it's not terrible, it's just super tense. You're kind of walking on eggshells, and you just wish they would leave you alone. And the worst thing, and this is something that most people don't even realize because it kind of gets pushed underneath the surface, is that your dreams get crushed over and over again. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, you have that house that you want to get. You have the car that you want to get. And you have this idea of all these things you want to get, and you think, okay, if I just keep working hard and following this path, I'm going to be able to get them. Well, that doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen on purpose. You see, that happened to me about, I want to say 18 years ago, and I was doing pretty well at the bank. I mean, I wasn't like the #1 person, but I was doing pretty well, and I was feeling good about myself, and I just got my quarterly commission check, and then they sent our new commission structure for the next quarter. Well, needless to say, I was pretty pissed. Basically what they did is they cut it in half. So if I made X on a given sale of something, I would make half of that. So in the end, I basically, if I did the same thing as I did the time before, I would make half as much. And if I wanted to basically match the same quarter that I had the prior quarter, I would have to double my production. Now, needless to say, the most tone-deaf thing that I had ever seen at that time was about 2 weeks later, I got a postcard in the mail, and it was from the CEO of the company. Well, the really stupid and tone-deaf thing he did was the postcard was a picture of him and his wife on their yacht in Hawaii with a little thing on the bottom saying Merry Christmas. So, you know, they basically just said, screw it, we're going to give you Ben-Hur-esque wages. And, you know, money's all going to go in our pockets for all the stuff that you guys sell, but Merry Christmas to you guys. And I was pissed. I mean, I honestly was really, really pissed. And it was right around that time that I was actually thinking about moving to California, so that actually just accelerated it. It was just one more reason to go ahead and do it. But what happens is, a lot of times we just focus so much on the daily grind that's going on, the micro, all the little things we do, the tasks on, you know, on the hourly basis, on the minute basis, and things like that, that we don't even realize that we've woken up, 5, 10, 20, and sometimes even 30 years later, realizing that we've completely let our life go by, that we've completely sacrificed our dreams. And it's the reason why you see these guys, and I definitely see this from time to time, is you see these 55, 60-year-old guys driving Corvettes here. And it really doesn't matter where it is. You're going to see it everywhere. And the reason they do that is it's kind of their way, you know, some people call it a midlife crisis, but it's their way of basically recapturing their youth and feeling like they can go back and get something back. But the problem is they've sacrificed all of those years doing the things, well, or rather not doing the things that they want to do. And they're playing catch up to try to get there. So, you know, a lot of you guys are probably asking, okay, I get that, I understand that, you know, that it totally makes sense. It definitely reminds me of what I'm going through. But, you know, kind of where are you going? Where are you going with that, Matt? Well, it's really simple. Somebody once said to me, they said, Matt, you need an exit strategy. And for me at the time, you know, I was actually moving to California, so there was a little bit of an exit strategy for that. But that didn't even help because I ended up going to just another sales job. Now, if you want to have a lifestyle where you get to live your dream life. You get to travel where you want to. You get to really dictate the terms on which you live. In other words, you don't have to check with anybody really to do the things that you want to do. And that doesn't mean quit your job. It doesn't mean, go off the grid. You can still work for the same company, be in the same industry, but completely change everything about your lifestyle. You need an exit strategy, meaning you can't do the same things that you've done over and over again and expect things to get better. You can't take the boilerplate advice that people have given you all these years that obviously, if you look around, doesn't work for everybody and expect things to get better. You need to have an exit strategy, and you need to take the advice of people that have gotten there. And for me, where I'm at right now is I'm here exactly for that same reason. I would still be in corporate America, still be on the phone, still be a drone in my company, praying not to be one of the next layoffs in my company if it weren't for people that got in my life and really disrupted it and showed me the type of life that I could have. And even when I was in the pickup community, it was the same thing. As these guys would show me how people operated. And realistically, it was in a sense, it was how women operated, but it kind of goes past that. Everybody has these particular intricacies. There's this complete structure to how things operate. And until you really understand the blueprint, you're not really going to be able to succeed in that. And so that's what this lesson is about. I want you guys to understand, unless you guys understand the blueprint of what makes people unbelievably wealthy, what makes people draw money in, literally be a money magnet, and in a lot of cases have a sales passive income stream, you have to understand the architecture. And if you don't understand the architecture, somebody else will. And most likely you work with one of those people already, and even a lot more likely there's people in your industry that you compete against, that you talk to at networking events that have figured this out. These are the people that are the name in the name in their industry. These are the people that you just think, okay, there's no way I could ever be them. But the good thing is you can. It's totally possible. But you have to plug into the blueprint. Unless you understand the blueprint, you're not going to get there. And that's really the reason for everything that I'm doing here. I record these videos for you because I want to reach you. I want to be able to give you not only the financial freedom that you should have, but the personal freedom that you deserve. You don't need to waste another decade, another year, or even another month, and definitely not another day. You can start this process now, but you have to make that decision. There are people right now that literally are on a golf course when you're watching this, unless you're watching at 11 o'clock at night, but there are people at a golf course somewhere that aren't even working, technically, and yet they're making money. Well, how do they do this? They've learned the same things that I want to teach you, except instead of it being a secretive type of a thing where they just want to keep it absolutely confidential and keep it away from you and protect their monopoly, I want to open this up to you. I want to bust it open, and like Penn and Teller, I want to show you the secrets of how those people really do it and show you how easy it is to manifest in your own life. So if you haven't stopped by my website, you need to start now. And there's a ton to explore. There's lessons on there. And there's a couple programs that definitely would be a great place to start. But if nothing more, the decision isn't so much to go to the website. The decision is to make that change, to plot out your exit strategy and know that in the future, you're not going to be in the same place 10 years from now. You're going to be in a much better place. You're going to have an advantage over everybody else. And you're going to be able to do the things you want to do, to not have to basically beg for permission to live the life that you want to live. So get started now.